That's funny. All right, we are streaming live now, absolutely. So people are watching this. We're going to be starting the radio show momentarily, for those of you hanging on there on the website or on YouTube. Today we're talking about...
You can see this on the website right now.
Does that blow your mind?
It does. My mind is officially blown.
Dave's a radio guy. He doesn't understand that videos work too. How can you send video over the radio waves?
This is crazy stuff.
All right, we're going to be starting. This is a test broadcast, by the way, if you're just logging in.
Yeah, please understand that.
This is for real going over the radio after we start the broadcast. But the video, this is the test, so thanks for joining us on our test. If you are there, you should be able to chat on the window on the bottom or to the right of your screen, to the right of this video. So go ahead, and we want to hear your comments. Log in and jump in and out as much as you want to.
We would actually be seeing your comments. We're not going to hear the comments.
We will see them, and I will hear them in my head as I read them to myself.
In a big Jesus voice.
Yeah, so that's right. So, are you ready, Dave?
I'm ready.
If you're ready, I think we are going to get this show on the road. We're going to start it right here.
Revolution. Actually, you can prove God exists. Questioning tradition, because what you've been taught isn't always true. The truth will set you free.
Welcome to Truth Revolution. I am Dave, and with me is Pastor Jeff of Revolution Church.
We are glad you're here today. I'm excited because we are talking about one of my favorite reasons to believe in God.
What is that?
The Kalam cosmological argument. I thought you knew that. I thought you knew that all the way.
I was pretending to read.
Dave,
I really wasn't
we know
reading.
you can't read.
It's okay.
Anyway, we're doing a Bible contradiction today. We're going to answer one of those as usual.
And you know what?
What?
This is where faith and reason coexist.
This is where faith and reason
That's
meet, right here. Like a boy and a girl who were meant to be.
Right. A man and a woman that were meant to be. Because boys and girls probably should hold
Are
off
not
on dating
meant to
for
be.
a while.
That's right.
Until you're at least
30.
35.
30.
Wow, okay. There we go. 35.
Yeah, I'm 36. I started dating last year. my marriage was prearranged or something. We are going to answer Bible contradiction. We also got a couple listener questions we're going to try to get to. But today we're talking about the Kalam cosmological argument. And this is one of my favorites. We like to bring this up every once in a while because I want people to start remembering it and thinking about it. And for those of you watching on YouTube right now, hello. Some people are in our chat room right now. Someone yelled, chat! That's great. I love to see people say chat.
Right on.
And so if you're listening online or on the radio, we are trying an experiment for a couple weeks. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. So if you want to check this out, you can get over to our webpage, truthrevolution.tv, and we're going to put a link there to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe, and then Wednesday night at 5:30, this is Central Time, Kansas time,
right.
5:30 Kansas time, we record the show, and you can watch it live. Now, this doesn't go on the radio until Sunday.
Right, depending on where you're at.
Right, and it doesn't go on podcast until Sunday.
Right.
But if you want to watch us live, you can do that on YouTube.
Jeff's trying to torture me.
Yeah, and if you want to harass us, you can also do that because you can log in. We got people chatting, so you can send us messages just to ask questions, to throw your thoughts in there, all sorts of cool things. So I'm excited about it.
Right. It's not that you wanted to do video. It's just that you like to argue with people live.
We love people's responses.
There you go.
We've said before, and I'll say it again, we want to answer every question that someone brings to us. And
right. And even if we can't answer it right now, let us go away and then come back the next week, maybe bring in a bigger answer.
Yeah, and we're going to try to get to every single one of those.
There you go.
So there was a Christian, and he said to the atheist, "How is it? Can you not believe in God?" And the atheist said, "Do you believe in the Buddhist God?" And the Christian said, "Well, no." And the atheist said, "It's kind of like that." Yeah. Okay. So
that was a nice wind up for nothing.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this concept that we are super amazing and it's completely ridiculous to not believe in God.
Right.
Is looked upon by atheists as a ridiculous statement.
Right. They just take.
I'm gonna go through this. Line 1 says, "Whatever has a beginning to its existence must have a cause."
Right.
Line 2 says the universe began to exist. Now, if it's true that everything that had a beginning had a cause, and if it's true that the universe began, then the universe had to have a
cause.
Thank you. A creator of some kind. Now, simply put, something outside of the universe had to have caused it to exist in the first place. Now, for those of you watching online live right now, or for those of you hearing the show, I want you to ask this question of yourself. What was your cause? What caused you to exist? And sometimes I'll ask people this question, and they'll say, well, my cause is, I believe in fighting AIDS, or my cause is to raise a good family. That's not what we're talking about.
That cause. You're talking about DNA getting together and forming a human being.
Yes,
right?
That is right. We're talking about your cause was your mom and your dad.
Right. Like my mom always says, I brought you into this world, I could take you out.
Can she actually take you out?
She probably could.
She probably could?
Still, yeah.
Not morally or legally.
Right.
But technically.
But she could.
She can. Practically, she could. Right. Your cause was your mom or your dad. The cause of my car was GMC.
There you go.
The cause of the rock sitting on the floor is the
bigger rocks?
The mountain that it broke off
Right.
of. You could take it back even further if you wanted to. But basically, that's what a cause is. Now, we've done a really cool. We've done a really cool video on this subject before.
Yeah,
and we're gonna actually link to that on the website. If you want to get over to truthrevolution.tv, you can check out the video. It's actually an unlisted video on YouTube as well, so you can't find it unless you have links. You got to get to truthrevolution.tv.
It's a secret video.
Secrets.
Right on.
We don't want anybody finding it and believing in God without us telling them to. So, what is your cause? Now, we're going to get into this argument. Okay, whatever has a beginning to its existence must have a cause. Is this true? In metaphysics, this is known as the law of causality, Dave.
Right.
All right. Nothing produces
nothing.
That's right. Everybody just take your hand right now, scoop a great big bowl of nothing. What can you make with that?
Nothing.
Nothing! If you've got nothing, you will always get nothing every single time.
I got some dirt in my hand. No.
Good for you. That means you've been getting some work done.
Never mind, that's dead skin.
But it does, you can't say, oh, well, there's some air in there. I can make something with those molecules. Right. No, that doesn't count. That's not nothing. That's air. Okay, nothing makes nothing. Make a list of something. You could put in books. You could put in a chair. You could put in your brother. You could put in anything. And if it had a beginning to its existence, meaning at one time it didn't exist, but now it does.
Right. It had a cause.
Something caused it to exist, right? Now, here's what the critics do. The critics say,
oh, those critics.
Oh, well, God must have been self-caused. And that's impossible. So, see, God didn't actually exist because God didn't. You can't cause yourself to exist.
Well, no, let me say this.
Okay.
What it sounds like to me is that they're putting on qualities on God that belong in this universe. And since God is not in this universe, he's exempt from all that. Would that be correct?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, God's timeless. The fact is, God doesn't have a beginning.
Right.
And that's why we can say God didn't have a cause.
Right.
Because the whole point of line number one, we'd say, what had a beginning to its existence has a cause. God didn't have a cause, but that's not a problem because God didn't have a beginning.
Right. And it all goes back to him. And since he is the only uncaused being,
yes,
then it makes sense that maybe he would be the one that caused everything else.
Yes, that is exactly right.
I'm smart.
Now, the argument doesn't say everything has a cause, right?
Right.
We're saying whatever had a beginning to its existence must have had a cause. Therefore, God's not self-caused. God exists outside of time, as you were getting at, and he never began to exist. But it is true that everything else in our universe had a cause.
Right.
In fact, the universe itself had to have a cause because we think the universe began. And that's premise number 2. The universe began to exist. How do we know this is true? We're going to get to that in a second, but Dave, let's do a Bible contradiction.
Bible contradiction.
Oh, happy day. Happy day.
Why? Why is it a happy day?
I found a new website with Bible contradictions.
Oh, good. I was tired of evil Bible.
Answering-Christianity.com has 101 clear contradictions in the Bible. That's their claim.
Clear ones.
Clear ones.
I'm sick and tired of these muddled ones.
All right, well, you're about to get a clear one, all right?
All right, let's hit it, Dave.
We want to know who incited David to count the fighting men of Israel.
Okay.
2 Samuel 24:1 says again, the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he incited David against them, saying, go and take a census of Israel and Judah. Well, 1 Chronicles 21:1 says, Satan rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census of Israel. So who did it? Was it God or was it Satan? People want to know.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, that's the answer for a Bible contradiction today. What, do you think you don't want more than that?
Yes, I want more than that.
All right. If we go to our cracked acronym, the letter C, the second letter C, stands for credibility.
Yes.
And what you have to do here is when you read doesn't mean
right. There's a
wrong.
legitimate contradiction there.
And see what happens is we automatically think it couldn't have been both because, well, one is God and one is Satan. They don't ever do the same thing.
You know what I want to blame this on?
What?
Crappy journalism. Honestly. You look at all these rags in the supermarket, stuff like that, and they're just blowing up all this stuff that's really not true.
Yeah.
And so people get it in their minds that, hey, man, all through history, people have been writing things that aren't true.
Yeah, right. Well,
just don't trust people.
You see, but we already know it is quite true that sometimes both God and Satan want the same thing. Take the book of Job.
Mm-hmm.
Satan comes to God and says, hey, I want to talk to Job. I want to push Job. And God gives permission.
Right.
You could say that God incited these problems for Job or that Satan incited the problems for Job. You could say both.
Right.
And in matter of fact, if you look at 2 Samuel, it doesn't say the Lord was so pleased with David that he had him do a census. What does it say, Dave?
It says that the Lord, the anger of the Lord burned against Israel.
Yeah.
And he incited David.
So God was angry.
Mm-hmm.
He was inciting David to do something because God was angry at David and the nation of Israel. And so this is a problem for David. In addition to that, you might also want to look at if you look at 2 Samuel 24, God says, go and take a census, right?
Right.
But then if you read a little bit further in verse 2, it says, so the king said to Joab and the army commanders with him, go throughout the tribes of Israel from Dan to Beersheba and enroll the fighting men. You see a little difference there?
Yes, I see.
What is the difference?
The difference is one is a census, and then the other one is to go and enroll the fighting men.
Yeah.
So a census would be everybody.
Census would be counting everybody.
Yeah, man, woman, and children.
And what David did was counted and enrolled an army.
Right.
Those are two different things. So you could say that God told David to go do a census,
right?
But David, incited by Satan, went and did something different. He went and actually did a census where he enrolled fighting men.
Aha.
Bible contradiction.
So that's our answer today.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yes, it does make a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be taking a break here just for a few minutes. But when we come back, we're going to get to the second line of the Kalam cosmological...
Kalam cosmological argument?
Thank you, sir. I couldn't say that. The universe began to exist. Is this true or is it not? I actually was in a discussion today with some of my Mormon friends who said the universe did not have a beginning.
Okay.
So did it? There are scientists who say it did not because they don't want to believe that God exists.
We're going to get into the law of thermodynamics, aren't we?
Oh, Davey, you're looking ahead.
We're going to get into infinity kind of talk, right?
Boom!
Yeah.
Your mind is about to explode. So, anyway, thanks for joining us. Be right back after this break. Very important. Also, get over to truthrevolution.tv. And if you're interested in watching us live, join us this coming Wednesday at 5:30.
There you go.
We're going to try another test this coming Wednesday. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
All right. And we'll be right back just a couple minutes. In the meantime, get to truthrevolution.tv. All right, we're on break.
All right. What do we do for a break?
Well, we look at the people on YouTube and we say, guys,
got any questions?
thanks for hanging with us.
Questions, comments, rude remarks?
All right, we're about to jump back in after the break. Are you ready, Dave?
Well, do we got a limit on this thing, or can we go just however long we want to on YouTube?
We can go however long we want to.
All right.
However long they want us to.
There you go.
9-10 days.
No.
I'm thinking.
I got to eat sometime.
No bathroom breaks. All right, here we go. Second part of the radio show starting.
Truth Revolution.
Oh, and we're talking about the Kalam cosmological arguments.
That's right. And I got to tell you, if you're interested in watching our show live and maybe chatting a little bit with us, you got to get over to our YouTube channel with Revolution Church. Because there's some behind-the-scenes stuff going on there that you don't get on the radio show.
Right.
You get stuff like Dave
Just a little bit.
asking, like, wait a minute, how long is this thing going to be?
Well,
Right?
you know, you kind of just... He asked me a question earlier in the week, hey, man, how do you feel about doing this live on YouTube? And that was the last I heard of it.
You said yes.
I said, okay, I guess.
Yeah, you said yes, so we're doing it.
All right.
I'm an action guy. I say, can we do this? Someone says yes. That means we're doing it.
All right. I'll put that in the memory bank and save it for later.
Darn right. All right, we're going to get to did the universe begin to exist or not. But before we get to that, I'd like to answer listener questions. Is that cool with you, Dave?
What are you asking?
As if it matters.
Do it.
I got a question. You said, as if it matters.
As if it matters. All right, listener question today. How should we as Christians defend the Bible? One of my coworkers said that, like all other religions, it is written by men.
Okay.
A reference to the scripture in Timothy that says all scripture is God-breathed, inspired by God. But then he countered with, but a man wrote that too. I had to tap out there. How should I respond to that?
Well, there's a number of ways that we can know the Bible was written by God. In fact, we've done some shows on this.
Right, maps.
So I'm not going to go over this completely. But, the Hank Hanegraaff, he's a great apologist. He has put together an acronym called MAPS.
Yeah.
And so I want to go over that really briefly for you. This is how we can know the Bible is, as Hank would say, divine rather than human in origin.
There you go.
The M stands for manuscript. We have to look at the manuscript evidence to know, do what we have right now. Is what we have right now the same as what was written 2,000 years ago? Manatee. This is a big deal. And so it's true in an external sense.
Right, not some just crazy coincidence.
No. And then you can go to the P in MAPS, M-A-P. And the P stands for prophecy. Now, this is a big one.
It is. Because, back in the old days.
The old days, like 1962.
No, we're talking about back in B.C.
Oh, okay.
Back when they actually used to stone their prophets when they were wrong.
Yeah. Well, they were supposed to at least.
Right.
Sometimes Israel didn't do that. But the point is that you were right. I mean, they were supposed to kill a prophet if he's wrong. And we look at the prophets that wrote the scriptures in our Bible, and they were not wrong. They were never wrong. They predicted the rise and fall of nations hundreds of years in advance. They predicted what the Messiah would do, Jesus, when he came.
Well, they even predicted, the exact year the Messiah would be cut off.
They predicted the year he would be cut off. Jesus predicted the fall of the temple in Jerusalem.
Right.
I mean, there are hundreds and thousands of prophecies in the Bible.
It's not just some spiritual mumbo-jumbo, folks.
No, and these are not
real.
Nostradamus prophecies.
Right.
Where it's like, there's a beast upon a scenic plain.
Right.
And you're like, what does
There's
that
very
mean?
very specific prophecies as opposed to Nostradamus, who is very vague.
Right. I mean, Jesus, he looks at the temple and he says, see these stones? Not one will be left upon another.
Right.
And they're all like, what does he mean by that? Like, I think he means it's going down.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said.
Right.
And so the prophecies are specific. And there is no way that the Bible could fulfill hundreds of those prophecies and be absolutely right every single time unless it was God himself inspiring this. And then we go to the letter S, M-A-P-S, and the statistics behind this.
Right.
I mean, the odds that someone could fulfill the prophecies that Jesus did are astronomical.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we've done a show on this before. Go to our website, truthofelution.tv, and look up statistics. You're going to find a show we did.
Yes, and it will blow your mind.
I mean, Jesus fulfilled hundreds of prophecies, but even counting just 48 of them, it's like way less likely that you could fulfill even 48 prophecies that Jesus did than it is that you're going to win 2 lotteries, like big ones, 2 Powerball lotteries, see a meteor hit Earth, get hit by lightning, die in a bus wreck, die in a plane wreck, have quadruplets, and have twins. I mean,
that's a full day's work right there.
That's a full day's work.
Gentlemen.
And if that's happened to you, then you might fulfill some of the prophecies Jesus did. But yeah, that's
good luck with that.
Go to our website and look up maps and look up statistics and look up archaeology, and you'll find more information about that. But that's the answer for that listener question. I got a question. All right, so back to the cosmological argumento. The universe
Is that your Spanish there?
began to existo.
Right. It did.
All right, believe it or not, this sometimes is a huge point of disagreement. We believe the universe had a beginning. Young earthers believe it's about 6,000 years old,
Right.
10,000 years old. Old earthers like us believe the universe is somewhere around 14.5 billion years
There
old.
you go.
Older than Dave.
I hope so.
Well, what? That wasn't an insult. It's just
a lot
true,
of things
right?
are older than Dave.
Yeah, it's older than Dave. But there's 2 reasons why we know the universe is had a beginning.
Right.
And the philosophical is the first one. We use logic, and we know that if you're trying to deny this, you'd say the universe didn't have a beginning, right? That it was infinite. But before we can tackle this, you got to understand what infinite is. I mean, it's
let's take time. Let's take time all the way back to infinity.
Okay.
Is that even possible?
Let's travel. How long is it going to take us if we're going 1 mile an hour?
It will take infinity.
Forever. What if we're going 1,000 miles an hour?
That'd be slightly faster amount of infinity.
But it still take forever.
Yeah.
What if you're going warp 10?
Still infinity.
Infinite. You see, you cannot traverse an infinite amount of time. You just can't do it.
So we would never arrive at this particular point in time.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you, Dave. If the universe was infinitely old, we would have never gotten to where we are today.
Right.
Because there would still be an infinite amount of time between sometime in the past and now.
Right.
As a matter of fact, if the universe had an infinite amount of time, the moment between now and the next moment, there would be an infinite amount of time. You could never even get to the next moment.
Right. And now a person that may not be thinking might actually say, oh, that's just a cop-out. But I dare you, just think about it and then get back to us.
Yeah, that's not a cop-out. That's a real legitimate thing.
It is.
If you have an infinite amount of time, you cannot actually progress to the point we are at right now, because you would have had to go through trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions of years to get here, and you just can't traverse it.
Even at warp 10.
Even at warp 10. Now, science kind of comes in here, too, to play. The second law of thermodynamics, which you pointed out we were going to talk about, says that in a closed system, everything runs down.
Right.
Your car's a closed system until you put gas in it.
Right. You inject something from the outside into it to make it continue to go.
If your car was a completely closed system, it would eventually run down and die.
Right.
Your car's an open system. Your body's not a closed system. Why is your body not a closed system?
Well, because we need stuff from the outside anyway, right?
Yes.
I mean, you know, food and sunlight.
You have to have
air.
pizza and popcorn to live. If you don't have those things, you will cease to exist.
I can exist without popcorn, Jeff. I know you find that
What?
Yeah, I know you find
I don't.
that
What?
hard to believe.
Anyway, whatever. Enough of these lies. Let's just continue with the argument. So,
Or put both of those arguments together.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, you get it? So, whatever has a beginning has a cause.
Right.
We know the universe had to have had a beginning. So, it had to have had a cause.
You're starting to talk like Captain Kirk. What's up?
I don't know. Therefore, the universe has a cause. It's got a creator, okay? Whatever has a beginning to its existence had to have a cause, and the universe had a beginning to its existence. So the universe has to have a cause, and there's a creator. Since the universe is everything that we know that exists, the very thing that caused it to exist must be the creator, God himself. And now you know the cosmological argument, the Kalam cosmological argument.
Wow, that's good timing right there.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago we did the vertical cosmological argument.
Yeah.
And that's a fun one, too. If you know both of these, you know that God not only created it at the beginning and caused it to come into being.
He holds it all together.
That's right. It's in his hand right now. Thanks for listening to Truth Revolution. Come on out to Revolution Church, 9 a.m., 11 a.m. every Sunday morning. You can watch that live on YouTube as well from our channel. You can go to truthrevolution.tv to find our YouTube channel. Look up this show. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, thanks for joining us for our test broadcast.
We appreciate it.
We're going to do another test broadcast this Wednesday at 5:30. So if you want to watch us live and harass us or talk or whatever, be on our website, truthrevolution.tv. Click on the link or subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be there 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Kansas time.
There you go.
All right.
No excuses.
No excuses. You got to be there. Truthrevolution.tv. We'll try to put a link up in this show. Have a great week. God bless. All right. Our show is done. For those of you watching on YouTube, we super appreciate you guys joining in and listening and making this a successful test.
We do. Thank you.
Really good stuff. Thanks a lot.
We're out.